up, angels? Welcome back to my channel, or if you are new, welcome. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and join the team, join the squad, girl. I'm trying to build it up and I'm gonna need your help, okay? And before we get into this story time / manifestation video, make sure you guys leave me a thumbs up if you like something in the video and leave me a comment. So we're gonna hop right into the story time, y'all. This is gonna be like a story time / manifestation type of video on how I got to Jamaica and what all went down when I went to Jamaica. That's the best part. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I had been planning this trip probably like, I think it was probably like a year before it was time to go on the trip. And I was dating somebody at the time and we were going to go on this trip together. And so, girl, and I shouldn't have booked that trip because I knew that relationship was dwindling down. But you know when you be trying to hold on for dear life. So we going through the relationship or whatever. We end up like eventually like breaking up for real. Like, you know when you break up and then you like, y'all still be trying to hang out. So I had officially decided that it was time to just leave it all the way alone because I didn't like how I was being treated. And so I was spending this time by myself, y'all, knowing that this trip was coming up, and I was working really hard. Like, girl, I was working like, I think I was only 19 too at the time, but I was working hard, like working at this warehouse. And I was just really on this solo journey because I had just got out the relationship. So I mean, I'm like at least 4 months single now. Actually, I had been single for a minute, but it's just that, you know, I hadn't stopped messing with him, like stopped talking to him. So at this point, it was 4 months since I had stopped like talking to that person. And so I was working on myself, girl. I'm telling you, I was real in tune with God. Like, and that's what I be saying, like, God be blessing you. Like when you like be close to God and you just give him that time, like God really be blessing you. And I had just got out that horrible relationship, so you know God was getting ready to bless me. And so I had been working so hard, y'all. And this is the manifestation part, because I didn't know how I was gonna pay for like everything, like because at the time I was also getting ready to go back to college after the trip and everything. And so I was like trying to pay for stuff for school. I had also waited to the last minute to pay for my Jamaica trip because we could pay on it like from like that year to the probably like a couple days before the trip. We could pay up, well, it was maybe like, yeah, it was maybe like a couple weeks before the trip. You could pay up until that point on your trip, and then the flight was separate, so you pay for that anytime. So I had paid for the trip, but I was still working hard, and I had to pay for my flight all the way to Jamaica. And I had waited till like like literally probably like a week and a half before the trip to pay for my flight, y'all. And so it was expensive. And so like I said, I've been at the warehouse working, and also I have been entering these giveaways on Instagram. Like, I don't know how I found this giveaway, but I have been entering them, and I have been entering them for a while, but I was not winning at all. And so, but finally one day at work, I had walked out of my for break because we couldn't be on our phones in the factory, which is so weird to me, girl, but whatever. And so I had went out and checked my phone on my break, and it said that I had won $750. And I was like, oh my God, like this is such a blessing, because girl, like I was not trying to continue busting for my trip. Like I you know, I had to shop and stuff for my trip, and you know, I wanted just to have money to spend while I was on my trip. That was like a gift from God at this point, girl, because after all that I went through, you know, the Lord be trying to bless you. And so it comes time for the trip. Actually, it's like a couple days before the trip, and I have not talked to this person that I was dating in a long time. I had not talked to him in like 4 months, like 4+ months, girl. Like I had not talked to this boy at all. And he finally texted me and was like asking like if there was a way that he could get his money back for the trip, because he had already paid his half of the room. So like the room was paid for like completely, and he was trying to get his money back because I guess he couldn't get a flight or whatever, or he didn't have the money to pay for the flight. Girl, I have no clue. Sorry, I was looking at my phone. I don't know why he couldn't come, but he was asking to see if I could call, see if he could get his money back. And I'm like, girl, if this man is able to get his money back, that means I'm gonna have to pay another $5 something for like the other half of the room. So I called the travel agent, and she's like,
no, you're not able to get the money back that you already paid for that room.
And I was like, by the grace of God, I'm still going on this trip. And he was like, okay, I'll figure something out. So it was pretty much still a possibility like that he could be going on this trip with me. But, you know, I didn't know. And I low-key didn't want him to go on a trip. But, you know, also a part of me had kind of, you know, wondered like what would it be like if he go on this trip with me. So it comes time for the trip. My mom take me to the airport, y'all. This is my first time like traveling like via plane. Like this is my first time flying. Never been on no airplane before. Girl, my first time being on the airplane, I traveled out the country. Whoop whoop, girl, that was fun, okay? And so since he didn't have like the same flight as me, I didn't know if he was coming to the trip or not. I didn't know. So I just was like, I'm just gonna go. And so I get on the plane. I fly, had like a layover in like Texas or something, and then I flew to Jamaica. And once I got to Jamaica, girl, it's on. I check in. Now I say that I traveled by myself, and like it was like a solo trip, but I had also been a part of a travel club. It's called World Ventures. And so like, I don't know, I wonder how World Ventures is doing, because I used to be like a rep to sell like travel packages for them too. That's so crazy. I wonder how they doing. So it was called World Ventures, and there was other people in the club, because this was not like just like a club of 12 people. Like this club was like a club all over the world, like a travel club all over the world. We used to have like this little blue sign, and it said you should be here. And so, you know, when like you see somebody with that sign, you know they're a part of World Ventures, so you can connect with people that way. And then some of the people, like, so I told y'all I was a rep for World Ventures, so like my upline, some of the people who were also representatives for the company, they were on the trip, so I knew them. But other than that, like, I literally traveled by myself. Like, I was like, girl, I was in this solo, but we gonna get to that, okay? So I get to the resort that I'm staying at, and I stayed at the Grand Palladium, which is so lovely, y'all. It was an all-inclusive resort, like drinks, food, all of that included, and and then you like got to do excursions stuff, but excursions were separate. Like, you paid for that separately, but like everything else was like an all-inclusive thing, girl. And like they even picked you up from the airport and like took you to the resort, and then back from the resort to the airport when it was time to go. Like, it was lovely, and I pray to God to have many more trips like that. God bless me with some trips, okay? So I get there, check in, and then I'm heading to my room, and so they drive me to my room, and I'm at this point my heart is beating, because I'm like, I don't know if so and so about to be here, my ex, I don't know, like, what's tea, like, I don't know what is about to be. Am I about to walk into this room and to him? And I walk up to my room, and I get to my room, y'all, and I just stop and I breathe. It's time to go in, and it's time to see if this boy is about to be here. I walk in, and by the grace of God, my room is beautiful and empty, shawty. Like, this boy is nowhere to be found. But he could still be here, he could still get to the place. I just got here. I don't know if he coming on a later day. Like, I have no clue. But all I know is, like, I got there, it was empty. So y'all, I make myself at home in my room, y'all. I ran me like a nice bath, a nice bubble bath, because it was a beautiful bathroom in the room. Girl, the location was beautiful, okay? So, I'm having the time of my life. I think we had like one little meeting with everybody in the travel club, introducing yourself to everybody, all that type of stuff. And I just, relaxed, did whatever I do on a trip as normal. Old dude never ended up showing up, and so I'm pretty much like solo on my trip. Like, I'm moving about the resort by myself, solo, doing my thing. There was a couple people that I was hanging out, like eating with, doing like the night parties. They had like a balcony party on the beach every night, and so I go there with them. But now it's time to get into the tea. So like I said, I was solo on this trip, y'all, and there was another guy who was there who was a part of World Ventures. He was solo as well. Not my type, not interested in him at all. I was never interested in him at all. But we naturally like clicked because he was solo, I was solo. It was all cool to me. Mind you, he was different. He wasn't like, girl, I don't know how to even explain this guy. He was just different, okay? Just a little off. I guess I looked past that in a way, like, cause he was cool, like, so I'm thinking like I'm just hanging out with this guy, like we cool, we kikiing, we, you know, go hitting the different restaurants and everything together. So I gave him my WhatsApp so we could communicate, because that's who I was hanging out with on the trip. So like whenever I would go eat, he would WhatsApp me, be like, you want to try this restaurant, you want to try this restaurant, you want to try this restaurant, you know, cool. So one night he hit me. He was like, hey, do you want to try this restaurant? And also at this time, I'm a new girl now. Like, I know how to tell people no now. I know how to put my foot down, girl. I know how to stand up for myself. But at the time, I was a little naive, and I was a little like, have you ever been like kind of like you don't want to say no because you don't want to hurt nobody's feelings? Or I was like that then. But girl, now I don't play that. I don't play that. And so he was like asking me like, okay, you want to hit this steakhouse for dinner tonight? I was like, cool, we could go there, like I don't mind, girl. So he was like, okay, let's hit this little steakhouse around this time. I was like, okay, cool. I had took me a nap, and I kind of got up late and got ready late. So I told him, hey, I'm running a little late, but I'm gonna be there, you know, within the next however long. So he was like, okay, that's cool. Like, I'm here already, and it's a wait anyway. So I'm just here, you know, waiting and chilling, talking to people. I'm like, okay, cool. Girl, do you know I'm on my way? I text him. I'm like, I'm on my way. I get there, and he's having like a whole conversation. Like, you could tell that they had been having this conversation for a while, but he's having this conversation with this couple. Girl, do you know I walked up to the conversation, and he's like,
yes, me and my wife, we have been,
girl, like, he's like, me and my wife, we've been like searching for houses for a minute now, and you know, the market in Indiana is like this and that. And I walk up, I'm hearing this, and I'm like, you know, just listening to him, because at first it didn't really click that I'm the wife that he's talking about, girl. So he get done saying that or whatever, and they like, oh my God, it's so nice to meet you. We've heard so much about you. Like, he's been telling us so much about you. And I'm like at this point, I'm going with it, and I'm a fool, but you know, it's like I didn't want to bust him out right there. Like, I couldn't have busted him out, y'all, and I shouldn't have let this slide. I should not have let this slide like that, but I did. And so he's like talking, he up here, yeah, we've been married for two years now, like, girl, just making up all these lies about us and our marriage. And he's sitting up here lying, telling them, yes, my wife, we've been running this business for a while now. Y'all, I did not say nothing. I was literally just standing next to him like, I did not say a thing. So as we are waiting outside, he going on and on about our relationship as husband and wife. Finally, the other couple gets called in, girl, and it's just me and him. And I still didn't say nothing. I still didn't say nothing. I'm just like, conversation is normal, like. And so, girl, he literally, like, the role literally like switched. Like, before we went out to dinner that night, everything was good. Like, we was kikiing together, hanging out, meeting at breakfast. Like, I wasn't even looking at him in that way at all. But girl, at that point, at that dinner, at that point, and every day afterward, and girl, a couple months ago he tried to add me on Facebook, girl. But anyways, he had switched. Like, he was in this husband role. Like, he was like, he just switched roles on me, girl, like, for real. And so we waiting, we getting in there and sitting, and it's just so awkward, like, for me. But it's not awkward to him, and you could tell. He literally is pretending to be my husband at this point. Like, and it's like, it's just so awkward to me because it's like a face-to-face type of thing. Like, we was sitting, like, okay, say this the wall, our seat was right here, and it's not like it was like a table of like 2 seats over here, 2 over here. That way, girl, I could, you know, feel comfortable. I got some room to move. Or maybe I could sit over here, you sit over there. No, it was like one little square table and one seat. So it was this very intimate steakhouse type of thing. Like, girl, there was candles lit. He up here, yes, she's gonna have, we're gonna get wine for her. Babe, what do you want? Like, you want the wine? I'm like, I'll just have water. And, you know, you could drink it in Jamaica when you're 18, girl. I wasn't 18, I was 19 or 20, I really don't remember. But girl, like, I'm telling you, this man had been cutting up. And so after dinner, he's like, okay, you want to go to the patio party? Like, I was like, you know, actually, I don't want to go to the patio party tonight. But he knew I had liked the patio party because I was up there having a good time every night, and I was looking cute, girl. It was fun. So, but I was gonna go to the patio party, but I just didn't want to go with him because of that stunt he had pulled that night. But I told him I'm gonna just go lay down in my room tonight, and I told him that because maybe he wouldn't show up, but I was going. So I hit up the other girls that, like, I knew from the travel club, and I'm like, hey, y'all, like, do y'all want to go to the patio party? And they had realized, they had peeped that he was like shadowing me almost. Like, they had peeped everything. And I told them, like, y'all, he was up there telling people he was my husband, all this stuff. Like, he had this whole story about us looking for a new house or whatever. Like, he had all this story about us building this business together, girl. And they thought it was so funny. And so we get to the patio party, and I'm like having a good time because, woo, like, this man ain't here. Like, he ain't on down my back hovering me. I was just like, woo, I'm having fun, y'all. And I look up, and across the room, and not no small box room, across a big open resort patio, like, I don't even know how to explain to you how big this place was. I see him staring at me, and like, we meet eyes, girl. I was like, oh my god, and like, I cannot believe this, girl. He takes off in jets. I'm talking, girl, he jets, girl. He jets over to me and almost knocks me down. I'm like, oh my god. And he's like, I thought you said you weren't coming to the patio tonight. I was like, oh, I had changed my mind. He's like, why didn't you tell me? I'm like, I just didn't really think to tell you, girl, you know, like, girl. So after that, I'm like, okay, it's time to go, because he getting like real creepy with it. Like, he overdoing it. And at first it was funny when he was like making up this I'm his wife thing. You know, it was strange and all that good stuff, but it was like, that's funny. So I had ended up going to my room. I had somebody walk me to my room, girl, and I think it was the day before the last day I went, girl, this story takes so many turns. I had so much fun in Jamaica, but girl, we moving on to how I thought I had met my real husband in Jamaica. Girl, it was the day before I left. So I'm on my way back from breakfast, girl, and I walked past this man. Like, he was like an employee there at the restaurant, and it was like a moment. Like, it was just such a moment. And like, he had said something to me, or he was like, hey, how are you doing, or whatever. Like, I don't know, it was something he said to me, but it was just this like moment. Like, we had walked past each other, and so I was like, oh my God. And so like I turned back to look back at him, and he had turned back to look back at me. And I was like, oh my God, who was that? Like, what the heck? Who was this guy? And so I had just been wondering who he was. So I go back up to my room, because he was headed back the opposite way of my room. So I was heading towards my room. So I head back up to my room, and I think I took a nap and everything. And I was still thinking, like, who was that guy? Like, it was just something about him, girl. So after that, I don't know what I was about to do. Probably get ready to go on an excursion or something. I have no clue. I don't really remember what I was about to do. But as I was coming out my room, I ran into him again. And I was like, oh my God, thank you God so much. Because he was so beautiful, y'all. And that accent, like, and he just had that beautiful chocolate skin that I just love, you know. And girl, we had got to talking, and like we just vibed, y'all, like just vibed. And so we exchanged like WhatsApp, and we was like texting each other and everything. Like, girl, me and this man had instantly clicked. So we were texting and everything, and he left the resort after work, because you know he worked there. And so he's like, I can't wait to see you tomorrow, blah blah blah, girl. And I'm like, oh my God, is this my husband? Like, he get back the next day, and it's like the day for me to leave, and like I see him, I was so excited. Like, I hugged him. I'm like, how are you? Like, but you know, they can't really interact with the people too much. I mean, they can, but like it's limits to it, you know. Like, and so I had been talking to him, like we just met up many times throughout the day before I left the resort, girl. And like we just would be texting all the time. Like, I feel like I had fell in love or something in that moment. Like, I'm telling y'all, girl, looking back, I was like, what the heck, have you lost your mind? Now that I'm looking back. But I'm telling you, from this me right now, that it was something about that dude, okay? Girl, so I get home, I tell him goodbye, all of that stuff, and I fly back home from Jamaica. And like I liked talking on the phone to him. Like, we like to talk on the phone, but like I couldn't talk to him on the phone, because from like the call from the US to Jamaica would be really expensive, and we want to talk. And so the only thing we could do was like talk on WhatsApp, or like talk on the phone on WhatsApp, or like try to talk on Facebook. But the connection was always so bad, because he had to be on Wi-Fi while doing it, and like it was just too much. Do you know that I got my butt up, went to Dollar General, and purchased a whole phone to talk to this man with minutes? Girl, it was a little trap phone, and I got it around here somewhere, but I took it out for this video, but I don't know where I put it, girl. But I literally had like a phone to talk to him on, and it was like I had to pay like $60 for the minutes. But I'm telling y'all, I was paying $60 almost every week to talk to him. And he wasn't sending me no money or nothing to keep talking to him, but I was still doing it because I liked him, and I liked talking to him all the time. And so we talked for a minute, like of months, girl. We talked for some months, and like finally I had gotten to school, and we were still talking, and I had just got a new apartment and stuff. Y'all, my apartment was so cute. Like, it was my first apartment, like, you know. And I was telling him about it. Throughout us talking, like, he had a couple red flags that I kind of looked over. He kept saying stuff like he wanted us to like you know, see each other or whatever, which is not a red flag, because I wanted to see him again too. Like, we up here trying to plan like couples trips, because he couldn't come out of Jamaica. He was like, you know, the only way I could come out is if I marry you. And I'm like, oh my God, like, you know, I'm not really ready to be married. Girl, this is just a hot mess. So he had said little stuff like that was red flags, but I kept talking to him anyway, girl. And the straw that had broke the camel's back was like, after months of talking, y'all, like, I had moved into my apartment. He kept saying stuff like, I can't wait to come there, and like, when you're out working and going to school, I'll be at the house cleaning. And excuse me, Twa, while I'm working, you gonna be at the house cleaning? Girl, at that point, I was like, you know what? I can't. And he had like a daughter and stuff. Girl, actually, he had like 2 kids. I'm like, you know, at this point, I can't handle this. I can't be with you. This ain't what I want. And so I had to tell him, look, I have been talking to you for a long time. I have been spending a lot of money to talk to you. Not once have you sent me a dime to talk to you. Then you're telling me you gonna come into my apartment and be cleaning while I'm working? That's not what I want in a man. Girl, it just was so many red flags. And I had to tell him, you know, I think we should just be friends. Like, I cannot keep doing this. And after that, I'll just cut everything off. And it's been a while, but he's still friends with me on Facebook. Like, and he's still like on my birthday or something, he'll say happy birthday to me and all that stuff. But he was so sweet, y'all, and like I actually did like him. But girl, don't ignore red flags, okay? But that's my crazy little Jamaica story time about how I went to Jamaica by myself and all the crazy stuff that took place there and after with this guy, with both of them guys. But yeah, it was fun. And like I said, I just prayed that God blesses me with so many more of those trips. Girl, I'm all for a solo trip, but you gotta be careful these days, because girl, people will kidnap you. But that's the end, y'all. If you watched this far, thank you for watching my video. I love you so much. I appreciate you for watching my video. It means a lot to me. Make sure y'all subscribe and join Aries Angels. And then also make sure you guys leave me a big fat thumbs up if you like this story time, or if you want more story times. And also leave me a comment with your thoughts and, you know, whatever you want to comment about, okay? And I'll be peeping who be commenting, because when it's time to have a giveaway, you know, I want to give something away to the consistent people, okay? So make sure y'all go take care of that, and stay tuned, because there's an end screen that's gonna pop up and you're gonna be able to click on the next video that you want to watch. So go watch the next video. That's all I got for y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.